Kevin and Bethenny are hearing arguments from married couple Marguerite and Marco, who disagree about taking on $100,000 in additional debt to fund Marguerite's grandma doll business.
Okay, so if you only had $100,000, but it wasn't going to put you into debt, would you give her the money if you had it?
Yes.
So you trust her? You don't think
I
this
trust
is
her 100%. Yeah.
You just don't want to go in debt and take that risk.
Correct.
What do you say, Marguerite?
It's a risk worth taking. You get nowhere if you take no risks.
If you could break down the money right now, you got the $100,000. Tell us exactly how you're spending the $100,000.
The first immediate person I hire is a social media manager.
How much?
I don't know what they range from. That's my problem.
Well, you need to know the numbers before you start just
I need
scaring
that.
him.
Bigger than that, I need a marketing company.
Okay.
And I've seen one that seems to have great results, but it's about $5,000 to $6,000 a month.
And I
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
By the way, same with the social media. You know who's a social media manager? You.
Yeah,
I
try.
literally have paid $10,000 to $12,000, $15,000 a month.
Ugh.
They're only as good as you. It's your voice, your story, your grandmother. It would be burning cash.
I also need help with the boxing and the shipping, so I need to hire someone to work, at least 2 to 3 people.
And how many have you shipped to date?
2,000.
No kidding.
Can we see the
Sure.
product?
Absolutely.
And what's the product called again?
Grandmas to share.
Grandmas to share.
There's no grandmas on the market?
It is sweet, you have to admit.
I'm just saying, how do I know that's an old doll?
And that's funny because that's exactly what I explain to people. It's not Barbie, it's not a brat doll, it's not gonna humiliate you or insult your self-esteem because you don't look like her. She's an unconditional love with a wrinkly forehead, messed up hair. She's your
Let me
grandmother.
have a look at it.
I love that. You're a great salesperson.
Thank you.
What is she saying?
She said,
Oh, Bethenny, you know I would love Bryn like my own granddaughter.
She said I would love Bryn, my daughter, like my own granddaughter, and Bryn's coming Wednesday.
see?
Come on.
And she has a special message for you as well.
Kevin, if you listen to Marguerite, you will understand that she is always right.
You know what? I'm going to sue this doll. Under the worst case scenario, you sell it yourself in the mall. That's the worst case.
Worst
because,
case.
you know, clearly it's working because you tell the story there when a
Right.
mom comes up and all that.
Right.
Let's say you could make $100,000 a year doing that.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
I know it sounds crazy, but I'm more interested in getting people to grasp this concept and grasp the idea of this doll for family reasons than I am about profiting from it.
That's being emotional.
Right.
If I walked into a store, I don't have you there telling me the story about grandma. So you have to be selling on television or selling in the mall. But everyone's moving so quickly on a website, you don't have time to read the grandma story.
Do we have a box here?
Yes, we do.
Resealable as well, so a kid can take it.
I gotta tell you, it's not bad work on this box.
I'm,
I've seen a lot of this stuff.
And we were coming in skeptical. Yeah, and the way they carry it out, and you designed this?
I did.
Interesting. Don't you think we understand what's going on?
Yeah, I think we get it. Why don't you step out because we're going to consider this case.
Sure, thank you.
Let's deliberate.
You know, Bethenny, this is a very expensive doll in the context of plush toys.
I agree, and she's very emotional about this, and the story's touching, but business is business.
There's no way it's $100,000. That's too much. It's too much.
Well, let's just establish, we think she's a smart cookie, right? We're betting on the jockey, no? I think she's smart.
Yeah, but $100K in the context of their finances is not gonna make her husband very happy. That's the other side of the equation, right? We're talking about her being unhappy. What about him?
Well, we get rid of the $5,000 to $6,000 on social media. She can do that herself. She's the only one who can tell the story. That money goes back to her. The $5,000 to $6,000 on marketing is the same thing. She has to market this, so we can get her money down.
It takes 1,000 dolls to get the $5 price, which she has to get. You got to get the price down of the inventory. So she's got to spend the dough on the dolls. It's going to be $5 times 1,000 times 5 SKUs.
It's going to cost her $25,000 for the $5,000.
Okay, so there's no warehouse needed. She stays lean and mean.
What happens if she sells out the dolls, but she can build the business more? We're not going to be there to
Maybe
consult
it's time
them.
to talk to an investor at that point because you can't keep going back to
good.
Marco and say, I want to double down now.
It's a one-time loan, and if you don't get it, then you can go gamble and make your own money and back your own dolls, but you're not going to bring this
She's
into
not
your
going to
house.
make holiday this season. It's too late. She's going to order and wait 4 months. I think she's got to prove this thing out in 12 months. That's the full cycle.
I like a timeline
She'll
on it.
get one holiday season in there.
I think if she has 1 year, she gets a strong business plan and really tries to do one thing very well.
See,
and her strategy is
her margins
online.
are good if she's buying the dolls at $5. She could actually make money.